Like, this for me is one of the biggest, like, oh my god, we're screwed moments for the WNBA.
The WNBA is struggling, and it's becoming harder to ignore. Since Caitlin Clark was sidelined with a quad injury on May 24th, the league has been facing serious financial trouble. Without her on the court, the momentum and the money just isn't the same.
The first time without Caitlin, come on, these guys got to do $1 million, right? No, they got to do 900,000 then, right? No, 800,000. What about 700,000? What? 600,000 views. Without a helpful hand from Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
The league is in panic mode, and there's no quick fix. Since Caitlin Clark's injury, national TV viewership for the WNBA has dropped by a whopping 55%. That's not just a small decline, it's a sharp, undeniable fall that shows just how much the league was riding on her presence.
Just announced that WNBA TV ratings are down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark's injury. And it was also reported that the Indiana Fever television viewership is also down over 53%.
At the same time, viewership for the Indiana Fever's nationally televised games has taken a huge hit, falling 53% from 1.81 million to just 847,000. That's nearly 1 million people tuning out. Without Caitlin Clark, the buzz is gone. What used to be must-watch TV has quickly faded into something most folks barely notice anymore.
There were 3 players on the floor with signature shoes. 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3 players on the floor that have signature shoes. 606K on ESPN. The Fever, without Caitlin Clark, get more viewers on ION. The Fever, without Caitlin Clark, Fever get more views on NBA TV.
And here's the real issue, it's not just one team feeling the heat. The entire WNBA leaned heavily on one player to drive its recent success, and now it's facing the consequences. Depending on one star comes with risks, and those risks are catching up fast. Now, let's talk dollars, because that's what really grabs attention. Ticket prices for the Fever's road games have dropped sharply, almost like they fell out of the sky.
As much as some people hate to admit it, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. Because for ratings to be down 50% since she's been injured is insane, and it shows her worth that she brings to the league. It shows that she brings eyes. Now, I'm not going to lie, 20 to 25%.
Before Caitlin Clark's injury, fans were shelling out $86 just for a seat at a game in Chicago. After the injury, just $25. In Washington, prices dropped from $41 to $14. That's a 66% drop in both cities, and it should be a wake-up call for WNBA leadership. The secondary ticket market tells the truth. When your biggest star isn't on the court, people stop showing up.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. A league that is desperate for attention. A league that is begging to be noticed. A league that's been completely ignored and forgotten over the last couple of weeks. This dump of dumps that can't generate interest based on their on-court product, which mainly consists of airballed free throws and some of the worst pretend basketball imaginable. This league is so bad, they can't even pretend to play well. A league that is struggling to sell tickets.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. The WNBA made a big mistake thinking its recent growth came naturally. In truth, they didn't build a new audience, they borrowed Caitlin Clark's. Last season alone, Clark was tied to an incredible 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity. Just one player, out of more than 140, generated over a quarter of the league's revenue. In 2024, she was estimated to be worth $875 million to the league, with 2025 projections easily crossing the billion-dollar mark. But now, their biggest draw is sidelined with a quad injury, and the money is drying up fast.
Has been a lightning rod for attention since entering the league. She brought in new fans, national media, and even primetime slots. Her absence isn't just hurting the Indiana Fever, it's apparently impacted the entire league's momentum. But this also sparks a deeper conversation. Is it fair for one rookie to carry the weight of an entire league's popularity? You see, critics say the WNBA's marketing has leaned heavily on Caitlin.
And where was the WNBA while their biggest star was getting roughed up on the court? Nowhere. They stood by as player after player took cheap shots at Caitlin Clark, treating her more like a punching bag than the league's top attraction. Dejonae Carrington leads the league in flagrant fouls with 3 in just over a month. Most players don't rack up even 1 in a whole season. Kennedy Carter slammed Clark to the floor like it was a wrestling match, not a basketball game. And Angel Reese? She was on the bench, cheering it on like it was some kind of highlight reel.as for the referees. Don't even get started. They've literally turned their backs while Clark gets hit, time and time again.
I hope that is a wake-up call for Kathy Engelberg. Hello, lady. Wake up. Wake up. That's your golden goose. Wake up. Stop trying to kill her. I'm sick of this lady, bro. I can't stand Aunt Kathy Engelberg. Nobody cares about the other players like that, and it's just proof in the pudding. So 50%, that's a huge number. Okay, significant. So you need to protect your golden goose. You need to change your rules. You also got to get better referees to protect your asset, or your asset is gone. How about that? That's what needs to happen, because if you don't protect the golden goose now, you should be gone.
Even Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White has had enough. She called the officiating egregious and said the level of disrespect toward her team has been unbelievable. And she's got a point. Caitlin Clark has been fouled more than any other player in the league, 46 times in just the first third of the season. Yet the refs act like it's all just part of the entertainment. They'll give Clark a technical for something as minor as hitting the back of the backboard, but when she gets clotheslined? Nothing. No call, no whistle, no protection. It's gotten so bad that Indiana Congressman Jim Banks actually sent a letter to WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, demanding answers about Clark's safety. When a member of Congress has to step in because your officiating is becoming a public concern, that's a clear sign you've completely dropped the ball. The Banks even pointed out what everyone knows. Clark has had a massive impact on ratings and attendance, but the league still won't protect her. It's like owning a Ferrari and letting people smash it up in the parking lot. Makes no sense.
Because we had so much drama and the media, I felt like, mishandled so many things with the WNBA last season, and specifically with Caitlin Clark and her fan base. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her fans.
The WNBA built this moment, and now it's spinning out of control. They hyped up rivalries, pushed for more physical play, and turned games into all-out brawls. But here's what they didn't plan for. When your biggest star gets hurt because of that intensity, the fans vanish. Just look at the numbers. Sports betting on Indiana Fever games dropped nearly 50% within a week of Caitlin Clark's injury. BetMGM reported a 37% drop in betting activity for games she didn't play in. When even the gamblers lose interest, you've got a serious problem. Attendance told the same story. In 2024, league-wide attendance jumped to an average of 9,870 fans per game, up from 6,615 in 2023. That surge lined up exactly with Clark's debut. The Fever were pulling in 17,360 fans per game, more than the NBA's Indiana Pacers. But now, with Clark out, arenas are going quiet. The energy's gone. May 2024 brought the WNBA its best ticket sales in 26 years, a 156% jump from the year before. And the reason behind that spike? One name, Caitlin Clark.
You care about TV ratings, you protect the golden goose. It's not about special privileges, it's just keeping it fair with the referees, but also keeping it fair for everybody. The stupid ticky-tack fouls, even Kelsey Plum Dog is pissed off and yelling at the refs in press conferences. So 50% of your audience is gone, and also hurt the Indiana Fever as well, because the Indiana Fever fans are not going to games as often. When are you going to wake up? The league is literally Caitlin Clark. And I said this before, that Caitlin Clark should claim the WNBA as dependent at this point.
TV partners are feeling the impact too. Networks like ESPN, ABC, and CBS invested big in WNBA coverage, betting on Caitlin Clark to keep drawing huge audiences. Now, their watching ratings fall off a cliff. The Fever's latest game against Chicago pulled in 1.92 million viewers, not bad, but way down from the season opener when Clark and Angel Reese were both healthy. The merchandise sales tell the same story. After Clark arrived, jersey sales soared by 500%. Now, with her sidelined, fans just aren't interested in players they don't connect with. The whole WNBA economy was built around one player. And now the league is seeing what happens when that foundation starts to crack. Clark's Nike deal alone is worth $28 million, more than most WNBA teams make in a year. She earned $76,535 as a rookie but brought in hundreds of millions for the league. They had the formula for success: protect your star, promote your star, profit from your star. Instead, they let other players treat Clark like a piñata and acted surprised when she got hurt. A culture of resentment took hold, with some established players seeing Clark's success as a threat, not an opportunity for the whole league. The WNBA chose politics over profits, and now they're paying the price.
But the fact that she literally can double the ratings or sometimes triple the ratings of WNBA games, they need her to be as healthy as possible. And despite how anyone feels, TV ratings are how you get paid. When WNBA players say they're underpaid, it's because people don't watch it as much as they watch other sports. So I don't care how you feel about her. If you like the W, if you like women's basketball, you need Caitlin Clark because she brings eyes, which then gets everybody paid.
Here's the hard truth the WNBA needs to hear. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player, she's the player. She's not only bringing in revenue, she's bringing in relevance. Without her, the league goes back to being the niche sport most people overlook. The league's expansion plans, media deals, and even charter flights all rely on Clark's popularity. Take her away, and everything starts to fall apart. Since Clark got injured, the Indiana Fever have gone 2-3, and their offense has taken a serious hit. They're scoring just 76.4 points per game without her, down from 88 when she's on the court. That's an 11.6-point drop. Their assists have slipped from 20 to 17.8 per game. It's not just about stats, it's about the whole flow of the game. Clark doesn't just play basketball, she lifts the entire experience. She turns ordinary plays into highlights and regular games into must-watch moments.
The WNBA is literally living off of one player. Her name is Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark is literally the whole entire league. And I try to tell you fans, you WNBA fans who are so pig-headed at times, they don't care about Nafisa Collier, they don't care about Aja Wilson, and these Paige Becker fans, yeah, they don't care about her either, bro. It's all about Caitlin Clark. The ratings went down 50% because Caitlin Clark got.
The WNBA's massive $2.2 billion media rights deal for 2026 and beyond was made with Caitlin Clark's star power in mind. Networks aren't handing over that kind of money for empty seats and dropping ratings. They're investing in the Caitlin Clark effect, the magic that turns basketball games into cultural moments. But if the league can't protect its biggest asset, those networks could start having second thoughts when it's time to renew the deal. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert talks about steady growth and reaching diverse audiences, but the facts tell a different story. The growth isn't steady, it depends entirely on Clark. And the diverse audiences? They're tuning in for her, not for the league as a whole. The WNBA mixed up cause and effect. They saw viewership rising and thought they'd grown the sport itself. In reality, they'd just done a great job marketing one player, and that player just happens to play in their league.
The Fever without Caitlin Clark are still 100 times more relevant than any other team, playing anyone but the Fever. And yeah, you can say, okay, yeah, the Fever pulled in their record viewers because it was the Fever against Angel Reese, but it's like, when you are only seen as good people to watch when you're playing the Fever, that's not a good sign.
Even when Caitlin Clark comes back, the damage might already be done. Trust is fragile. Once it's broken, the cracks are hard to hide. Fans have seen how the league treats its biggest star and what happens when she's not around. The WNBA had something special, a generational talent who could have carried the league for years. But instead, they shook things up with jealousy and misguided ideas about fairness, and they ended up breaking their best chance. Now, the league is at a turning point. They can admit their mistakes, improve how they protect players, and build their marketing around the stars who truly draw fans. Or they can keep pretending Clark is just another player and watch their ratings, revenue, and relevance slip away. The choice is theirs, but time is running out. Every game Clark misses is a game lost forever, with viewers who might never come back.
As much as some people hate to admit it, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. Because for ratings to be down 50% since she's been injured is insane, and it shows her worth that she brings to the league. It shows that she brings odds.
Here's the bottom line. The WNBA's current crisis is one they brought on themselves. They had the perfect mix of talent, timing, and marketability with Caitlin Clark, and they wasted it by refusing to see what was right in front of them. Instead of supporting their superstar, they let her critics take over. Instead of protecting their biggest asset, they let it get damaged. And instead of building a lasting, successful model around what worked, they held on to old ideas that only hurt the league. The numbers don't lie, and the WNBA can't ignore them much longer. Caitlin Clark is the key difference between being relevant or forgotten, profitable or losing money, growing or standing still. The sooner the league accepts this and acts on it, the sooner they can get back to growing women's basketball for real. Until then, they'll keep learning the hard way. In pro sports, star power isn't just important, it's everything.